see my screen? Or can someone see my screen? I guess one person will be enough. Justin, I see you nodding. Awesome. The question that we never stop asking here in our Zoom world, right? Can everyone see my screen? All right, so today I'm going to demo the Virtual Event Center for everyone. Thank you for that introduction, Andrea. What you all are looking at right now is one of the demo sites that we use. And so this is for the Pine School. It's a charity that works with us. But we built this to show off kind of the high level capabilities of the Virtual Event Center itself, which you will all shortly have access to. As Andrea was saying, I'm going to go through this, hit some of the high notes from a functionality perspective on both the support experience and the setup side of things. Once we're done with that, we'll go through specifically what you all be getting access to in the individual CCF chapter organizations. And then afterwards, if you have questions, please put them in the chat, just because there are so many of us. I will try to answer any that come across. So here we go. The first thing you'll notice about the site itself is the layout. And so we do allow configuration and customization of the colors and the branding elements here. But when you receive your Virtual Event Center subscription, all of the sites that you set up for your individual events will build themselves in this way. So this layout should be very familiar to your supporters. They should know where things are on the screen, and you won't have to worry about any type of site build. All of that is handled by the software in the background. A couple things to point out. This big window here is something that we call the show. All of our live event streaming, pre-recorded content playing functionality is in here. I'll give a large demo of that as we go through the event, but I am going to focus on the rest of the site just for now. You'll see over to the right here, we have a place for information about your event itself. We also have a donate option that's ever present so that your supporters can give. You will be able to customize these amounts. And what you'll also see here is that all of that donating happens right on this site. They never have to leave while your event itself is going on. So I can look in my cart, I can see that I just made a $250 donation. That's great. Never had to leave the page where I'm watching all the great content that you put together for your supporters. What you'll additionally see down here is a small banner that we do reserve for sponsors. So if you have individual event sponsors, one of the opportunities for branding is here. There are additional ones that I'll hit as we go through the rest of the site, but you do have control over the images that are shown in this area. Down in the right, we have some additional donation options that are fully customizable for all of you. A couple different kinds. These are what we call impact levels, and this is just a social good association. So you can set this up for any dollar amount, any text can go in here, and then that donation will have to be for at least that amount. So $50 for school supplies for one student for a year, great. I can give $50 or more. Once I donate, it's going to log my donation. It's also, you'll notice it's thanking me for donating. You're going to see my name in here a lot because that's associated with the account that I'm donating on. But the site itself will update automatically for all of your supporters while they're watching. So as everyone is giving, as everyone's participating, as everyone is winning items, the site will be showing all of that to your supporters so they kind of get the energy of the event itself. An additional thing that you can do with these is set limits on them. We call those targeted achievements. What's great about those is you can set it to be either a set amount of donors or a set price. So if you wanted to set a goal for after school programs, not just to get $100 as a donation, but to get 10 $100 donations, you'd be able to configure that, and it would communicate to everybody that was participating in that targeted achievement when it was completed. We have automated text messaging to reach out and let them know, hey, your $1,000 goal was met. Thanks for participating in that. You can include links or other information about your charity in there, which will either bring people back to the site or push them to some additional material. So there is some outbound communication ability built into these donation options over here on the right. What you'll see down here below the screen, you have a couple different options on what you configure here, and we'll be showing those. One of them is an open content editor that we call the story. So you'll see there is some media content in here. You can build links into these images. You can edit the text. You can have multiple images in there. Once we get into the template that we've put together for all the CCF chapters, you'll see what this will look like when you get in. And you'll also see where you have the ability to edit that. An additional option that we have down here is our raffle. So depending on what state you're in and what the rules are, you do have access as part of this platform to raffle functionality. It will sell and allow for the bundling of tickets. Again, all of that is happening on the page. I never have to leave. That's all just getting added to my cart and assigned to my user so that I can check out and pay for that whatever I want. All right, moving up into the show, a couple things that I want to point out. The first of which is this overlay button. So what you'll see through the demo here is one of the main benefits of using the OneCause Virtual Event Center, and that's our ability to place call to actions on top of the screen for you. So this is our basic one. It's a donate button. You'll notice when I press that, it opens this window over here on the right. Anytime you're in a desktop view and you're interacting with the screen, this right box, we call it the context curtain, will change in order for you to interact with it. You'll see what auction looks like there in a bit. Now, if I switch to a mobile view, where I have a smaller screen, you'll get a panel that comes out. So regardless of the type of device that your supporters are watching the event on, never have to go away from the screen. So if you have auction items happening, if you have a power raise, if you're just doing a straight donation ask, again, all of that happens on the screen, and that'll slide right out so that they can participate in whatever you're asking them to do while they watch the show. All right, now I'm going to show you a little bit of how we switch the content in here. One of the benefits of this is that we have built some light production.
It got nice out now, Jackie.
So that excuse me, so that you can put the content for the show together. So this screen is what we call the show manager, but it's where you will start your event. What you'll have here eventually is a screen that shows you the event screen as well, but you'll also receive stats on the event while it's running. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to different content, and you'll see that here on my screen, this automatically switches to the video that I played there. I'm going to go ahead and pause that just for a second, just so I don't have to talk over Ben Farrell too much. But anytime you switch a scene on this screen, that's going to switch this content right here. So no refreshing, no nothing for your supporters. You're able to just string all of the content together that you would like, whether that's a stream source like a Twitch or a YouTube Live, whether it's recorded videos like YouTube, or whether it's a slideshow like you're seeing out of Google Slides right now. That all will be embedded right here without the need for any kind of coding or things like that. While I'm in here, I'm going to switch back to that scene that I have with Ben. So what you're seeing over here on the right is the beginnings of what our auction functionality will look like. So as we are beginning to open the auction, they'll get a preparatory screen that lets them know what the next auction item looks like. And then in my control panel, you'll see this has changed automatically for me so that I can open the bidding there. So I'm going to go ahead and open my bidding. That's going to change this screen right here. It's recording that I am the leading bidder because I did a test bid on this earlier, but if I wasn't under my own name, this would not show this. So you'll have all your auction controls over here on the right. Again, in that mobile view, those will be on top of the screen. What we can do then is close the bidding for that. So this is what your auctioneer would do if it was Ben or someone like that. This would close and automatically move on to the next item itself. So those are just some examples of the overlays we have in there. What you're seeing on this screen is part of our backend. This is what we call the show manager. Down here is where you'll add those different scenes that I was talking about, the different types of content. All you have to put in when you are adding one of these is just the stream link itself. Now there's robust documentation on this provided with the platform, but for all of you that are putting your shows together, all that's required is the link. If you are fortunate enough or planning to work with a production company, they can also stream right into this space. So we're able to take a StreamYard key or any live channel that they're pushing to, and you can just have them manage your stream. All of that is able to be done in here as well. All right, further into the setting up of the event. This is what we call Summit. This is the platform itself that you all will have access to. And so on these tabs, you'll see what was put in order to set up the Pine School. When I talked about those targeted achievements, those are all set up here. If you'd like to edit your fundraising goal, seed amount, things like that, all of that can be done. A couple highlights that I would like to point out in here. One is something that we call invitations. So what this does, it allows an upload of a CSV or the manual add of your supporters' information, and then the crafting and sending of a custom email invitation. So I've got my name in here already. I'm going to go ahead and send myself an invitation. That's going to be sent. You'll notice that the status of that has changed to sent. If I were to open this email, we track that as well. So for all of your supporters on here that you've emailed through our system, we'll keep track of whether or not they've opened the email invitations you've sent them, or even if they've gone so far as to come to your event and register itself. So there are some light contact tracing abilities in here, so you can see, how many people you're hitting with your email notifications, if you need to send more messages, if you need to do a text messaging campaign. All of that's possible on the back end of the platform here. Lastly, before I move into some particular CCF branded items, I'll point out analytics. We do make reports of all of your information available to you in the platform itself. These will also be represented visually on the screen as well. So if you ever need to get access to all of the people that donated, all of the people that registered, any type of bidding or proceed activity, you have all of that at your fingertips right here without having to talk to anyone to get it. All right. So moving on, this is part of the template that we have put together for CCF. You'll notice the branded colors. When all of these events are created, our consultants will be kind of taking the first steps for you. So by the time you get in the software and begin working on the event, you'll see a lot of these things already in there. We'll have preloaded your Crohn's and Colitis Foundation information here. Again, we'll have set the colors. We have a nice visual asset down here that's been designed for you guys and given to us. So this will be preloaded. And then this text right here will be filled in and ready for you to fill in your own run of show. Now, you'll have access to change and manipulate this, but it'll all come this way. So Justin, from his perspective, you guys will have the guidance to move forward. And again, if you feel comfortable changing things, that'll be there as well. What you're noticing here, and I just wanted to give you all a different experience, is the screen that you get when you come to the event and you are not registered. So the supporter experience that I was showing before was based on someone that was already logged in. But for your people who are visiting the site for the first time, this is how they'll tell you that they're planning to come to your event. What you'll see is just an addition of some information. And then a registration. It's going to prompt them to enter their credit card information if it's the day of the event. So we have this set as the day of the event for you. So that's why I'm getting that prompt. It's never necessary for the credit card information to be stored itself. But if they want that streamlined bidding experience and that donating experience I was showing you on the last page, we will store the card. And then that way they don't have to put it in anytime they want to make a purchase. Once I've come into the event, now you'll see a slideshow, which we've selected and put on here for Crohn's and Colitis. You'll see that thank you for donating functionality ready to fill up, as well as the rest of the page. A couple of things that I will hit real quick before I show some of the content that we have here. Live auction preview. This is another option you have down here where you can show off the items that will be available for live auction. We also have a silent auction capability. So you'll see we've got multiple photos in here. You can have information on the items itself. And then as soon as I turn this silent auction on, this will allow for bidding as well as email notifications to be sent to you. So you can hold a silent auction as well, all in one place where you're collecting donations, where people are watching your content. Now, Andrea directed me to show off a couple of things here. So I'm going to keep up on my screen what the supporter experience will be. I'll move this one screen out of the way just so you all can see it. And I will play this. Hopefully you can hear it. Can you give me a thumbs up, Andrea, if you can hear that?
The world of fundraising
Cool.
is changing. Nonprofits are rethinking the single large fundraising event and embracing virtual strategies to reach and engage more supporters year-round. Fundraisers will still fundraise, but the new normal means finding ways to connect and engage today's supporters in the virtual world. That means nonprofits need innovative tools to reimagine their events. At OneCause, our mission is to help nonprofits transform giving before, during, and after your event. Introducing the OneCause Virtual Event Center, the one-stop shop where nonprofits can redefine their event, creating fun and engaging virtual experiences for their donors. You can host, produce, and deliver virtual events engaging supporters anytime, anywhere. Meet your donors where they are and keep on fundraising. So what does virtual fundraising look like? You need tools to help create online experiences, leverage video, live stream, and deliver programming to motivate giving and foster human connections. Create fun challenges, set targeted achievements, and watch the spirit of competition unlock more fundraising. Easily engage supporters online or on the go. During your event, the Virtual Event Center enables you to create experiences that connect your supporters to your cause. Are you ready to reimagine fundraising?
My name is Bianca, and the one thing that I wish individuals knew about IBD was that this invisible illness has many different factors to it. So while a patient may be dealing with a new treatment and balancing a healthy lifestyle, while also dealing with the side effects of the new medication, there's a lot to handle all at once. So my piece of advice is to be sympathetic and compassionate with anyone that you meet who may be diagnosed with Crohn's and colitis.
If you or someone you love has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, it's easy to feel alone. But there are other people who share your experience. The Power of Two program matches you with a peer supporter based on your disease, age, medication, surgery type, and more. Over the phone, they can answer questions and help you better understand your experiences. Request a peer supporter today at powerof2@crohnscolitisfoundation.org.
All right, so just a small example of how you can put content in there and the experience that your supporters would have from a show perspective. I know I've gone very quickly through a lot of this. Last thing I would like to point out is what Andrea mentioned earlier. My dog just walked in the room, by the way, so if you hear something, sorry, is what we call the OneCause badge down here in the bottom right. This has access to our training material, OneCause University, as well as our knowledge base that you can get to right within the app. So when you come here on any of the back-end pages, you'll see this little badge. You'll have access to some pre-recorded videos, as well as our knowledge base where you can search for content and it'll take you right to it. So if you want to see how to embed video in the show, all of that can be typed right there. If you are having trouble finding what you're looking for, you can log a ticket directly to our support group from this knowledge bot, or you can go ahead and go into here and go directly into our Salesforce instance and live chat with someone. So there is some additional help available for you in the application beyond just emailing your consultant. Before I open the floor up for questions, I would like to mention just a couple of things that are coming down the pipe very soon. You may have noticed that there was not a chat functionality on this. We are adding that very soon here over the next month or so, where all of your supporters will be able to type back and forth to each other. They'll be able to engage while the show is happening. That's going to exist right up here next to this donate button. You'll see a chat button that'll expand down and allow them to engage. We are also taking away this thank you for donating box that you saw down here and turning that into a more stylized overlay, just like these donate buttons, where you'll have a ticker that comes across the screen. You'll be able to just scroll through all of your donors, making sure they get recognized, as well as add things like offline donations that you want recognized or special messages that you want to have across the screen. That's my whole spiel for now. Thanks for listening to me for the last 25 minutes straight. Happy to answer questions. I'm going to get up for just a second and shut the door to my office.
Go right ahead. Justin, do you want me to prompt the questions and then you and Jordan can tag team answering depending on if it's a technical or foundation question?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you, Andrea.
All right, I'll wait for Jordan to come back for a second. So I hope everyone's excited. I know we are. So let's see, there were several questions that came in, Jordan, regarding raffles. Couple questions, is it possible to do multiple raffles? Meaning, multiple games. So I think if we can explain that for right now, how the raffle is set up for one, it's not one raffle per item, if you want to go into that.
Yes, I can answer that. Let me share my screen here shortly. All right, so from a raffle perspective, we set up one ticket or one pool of tickets. So all of the raffle tickets are the same, but you can draw multiple winners in your raffle control screen here, and you can have that be as many as you want. So what we don't support at the moment is like a specific raffle 1 with separate tickets from raffle 2 with separate tickets from raffle 3, but we do support multiple prizes and multiple winners out of a single raffle ticket pool. I hope that helps clear up the question.
And then another question, are they able to change the verbiage from raffle to drawing?
Yes, soon you will be able to change the verbiage on all of the titles that you saw on the screen. So by September, that's something everyone should have access to.
And then another question a lot of people are probably wondering, if you are selling raffle tickets previous to the night of the event through the OneCause Legacy site, will those sales spill over to the live event page? So I think we want them to understand it is two separate, right, Jordan? Or
yeah, it is two separate. What you can do, although not totally ideal, you can add in complimentary tickets to the raffle. So you could comp everyone that had purchased a ticket in the old system, a ticket in the new system, and then you would be caught up. But for any event that's not live currently, we'd recommend only going through the virtual event center and not using both.
okay. Can you switch between two different shows? Example, e-journal slides prior and after the event, but programmed during the event.
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
I think they were asking, can you switch between two different shows? Meaning, so Carly, so you have the journal slides, ahead of time, and then you can have different recordings throughout the event, and then end with, another program at the end. It's all part of what we call Show Manager, where you can upload slides, recordings. So I hope that makes sense. So the answer is yes, you can switch. So I guess just chat if you have an additional follow-up. Let's see. This is so cool. If we already have a site, will it transform into this, or is this a completely new site?
This is a completely new site. It's built on the new OneCause technology stack, but your consultant through OneCause can help you transfer over as much information as possible.
So in essence, this is sort of a transition period. So you will still have your password for what we're calling the Giving Center or Legacy, and you will have a new password and login for the Virtual Event Center. It's a completely different platform. I don't want to confuse everybody, but just think of this is the Virtual Event Center platform that does not have any ties to the Giving Center. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. Regarding the thank you for donating box, can we include those that have donated prior to the event to be recognized in this box, or will it only name people who are donating in real time?
So the box that I showed was real time, but you will eventually be able to add those who have donated prior and cycle through your whole donor list if you would like to.
In regards to the Google Slides that we showed at the beginning that showed some Crohn's and colitis marketing material, do only admins have the ability to shift the scenes within the show manager? I noticed on the front end, it appeared users to click arrows to change scenes.
You may have just seen the controls for the Google slideshow. So what we're doing is we're embedding whatever, wherever the content is hosted. So if they were using YouTube, they might see a play button there. If you were using Twitch, they would see Twitch overlays and things like that. What we do on the back end is we set everything up to autoplay as best we can so that there is no clicking required. But we can't stop your supporters from clicking on all of those buttons if they feel like they need to. So they're able to interact with it, but everything on a desktop will autoplay for them.
Okay. Will the content we create in our OneCause site automatically be uploaded on here? Well, the content we create in our OneCause site. So any content that you have in the Giving Center is not automatically uploaded here. It's a completely different platform. I think, Justin, maybe if you want to chime in terms of, you know, the continuation of, I think you wanted to continue to sell tickets on, you know, the Giving Center.
Yeah, guys, so then I see there's a lot of questions and some confusion around this, and that's understandable. So what we want you to realize is that there's two sites, the legacy site, which is what your current site is active on. So anything that you're selling tickets, sponsorship, and recognizing your honoree or anything like right now, that is on your legacy platform site. The VEC, the Virtual Event Center, think about it in terms of day of revenue. So raffle, silent auction, live auction, donations, fund the mission, that'll all live within the VEC. Now with that, that doesn't mean that you can't turn your auction components and your raffle components live prior to the day of your event. You can do that weeks in advance. So you can, if your auction is ready to go, your raffle is ready to go, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before your event, you can turn it live. And people can go ahead and start purchasing raffle, bidding on silent auction items, making donations through your VEC site. You will not upload silent auction items into the legacy platform, your current site. They will only go into your VEC site. So that way you're not competing between two different sites. And then once your registration process is done, when you're done selling tickets, tables, whatever you're doing, you will upload that list of registrants into the VEC, and you will send an invite through the VEC that Jordan showed you, and it will send an invite to every registered participant whenever you launch your VEC. So if that's a month in advance or 2 weeks in advance or the day before, whenever you do it, that'll allow that direct link to go out to all your registered participants. So that way they can have then direct access to the VEC for your day of type revenue. I think that hopefully will kind of shore up some of the confusion there.
So the next question is, and if you have any other questions regarding that, just, you know, chat it in. Will an OC staff member be supporting each live event by helping to run production in the show manager, or are foundation staff responsible for the production of the live stream with the show manager?
So that's going to be a combination of both, potentially, Amanda. So it's depending on the path of your actual show, if it's all pre-recorded or if there's pre-recorded and live components. There's going to be a combination of potentially you as a staff member pressing play and moving between different segments. And then there's also the possibility of like a production support member that's doing that with you. So it really will just depend on what path your event is taking.
And then can you explain how the auctioneer is made aware of the bids in real time during the live auction?
Yes. So I was trying, it was hard for me to show on both screens, but in that dashboard view where they're opening the bidding, they will get a real-time feed of not just who's winning, but who the last few bidders were, so that they can interact with them. So they'll be able to see the last 3 bids that came in and do their kind of auctioneer thing until the point where they decide they want to close that auction item, which is typically associated with the countdown, and then the software would handle making sure that all the final bids got in.
So it's all taking place in the show manager. Did we show them what the show manager is ultimately going to look like, Jordan?
No, but I can do
Why
that.
don't we show them so they can get a better understanding what it's going to look like, and the purpose of it.
So this is that blank screen you saw will very shortly be filled in with all this information, where, as I was talking about, you'll get the top bidder information down here, as well as some additional statistics on, how many people are watching, who your biggest donors are. This panel right here is tied to the overlay that you're using. So during an auction, you'll see auction information. If you have that donate button on there, you'll see all your most recent donors if you're wanting to do some kind of a verbal shout out. And then if you are doing like a power raise, you'll have controls on the amounts for that here as well. So this show manager will change depending on the scene type that you are showing.
Perfect. If we aren't doing a live auction, can that tab be removed? Yes. Is this mobile device friendly, or is it preferable for supporters to join via desktop?
We try to support all devices. We have designed it to be mobile friendly, so the site is completely responsive. I did show how the overlays work for mobile. One thing I will mention is that when it comes to mobile browsers, so if you're looking at Safari or Chrome on your phone, those typically disable autoplay just as a precaution for those providers for mobile phones. Don't autoplay videos to save people bandwidth. That way, if you're like scrolling past ads, they're not going to autoplay. So the experience can be slightly different on mobile. If people hit play, they'll get all of the content. We just like to let people know from a best practices perspective that we can't control the browsers, and so you may have a slightly different mobile versus desktop experience. So that's probably more of a complicated answer than you were looking for, but I do feel like that's important to say for everyone here.
Short answer is yes.
And on the heels on that, there were questions regarding the sound. The sound was not crisp and clear on here because it was through Zoom. It was through like multi-layers of what Jordan was showing you, the virtual event center, the show manager area. So that will be crisp and clear. I promise you. It was just because it was through Zoom.
You guys, and not to be afraid of Zoom, you guys were hearing the sound through Jordan's computer, then through your link, instead of actually hearing it and seeing it directly on the screen if you had the browser open. So that's why you're not hearing the sound directly.
Yeah, a key difference with this software as well is that you can create mini events. And so you're welcome to create test events to try everything out for yourself. You can log in as a supporter and see all of that. So, when you're working with your consultant for your events, you can make sure that all of those things are working.
And actually, can webcams from multiple locations be added to the scenes in the show manager? For example, one is a foundation staff member emceeing in location A, and then cutting to another speaker in location B, and then cutting to the auctioneer in location C.
Yes, so anything that can be supported, that can be done in a couple different ways. I won't go into it too much. We have some best practices articles that come with the platform, and your consultant can also advise you on how to accomplish that.
But the short answer is yes. You can feed both live and recorded video through the virtual event center in that top box that Jordan showed you. And then can multiple people share the broadcast controls at the same time? Yes.
We will recommend one person do your scene switching, just so that people don't get confused. But that screen will update for everyone. So whenever you're looking at the show manager screen, everyone will see the same thing.
Can people be invited to the site so only those who purchased can view the show? Yes, through the invitation management. You can send invitations to just those who you want to be able to access the site, correct?
Yes, so one, you can do invites for those who'd like to access it. Now, that wouldn't necessarily stop someone from finding the site somehow and getting in. What you can do though is set up a required donation to access the site itself. So in lieu of ticket sales, when you go through that registration process, you can set it up so that it requires a donation of $20 or $30 to complete your account registration. So that is an additional gate that you can potentially use if you'd like to.
Okay. So I'm not sure if we answered this. The auction, when can it go live? It can go live weeks 2 weeks ahead of time. Whenever you want to open it, you can open it. You just need to invite your participants to the site via email through the invitation, and then they'll have access to begin bidding whenever you want to open it, open the auction. Let's see. In doing multiple pre-recorded videos, will they be streamed together so it looks like one complete experience with no breaks?
So right now there is a transition between the scenes while we refresh the video source for you. So you saw that little 1 second flip on the screen I was showing it. That's what your supporters would see when you do a scene change. We are going to enhance that transition so it's more of a fade in and fade out. But there's not currently a way for us to do it with no breaks. What you can do is build that content all together into one YouTube pre-recorded segment where all of those are looped together, outside of the OneCause software, and then we play those. Or you could work with any number of production companies. There are many options to get that in here. But from a software perspective, if you are switching the source of the stream, you will get that little blip that I showed.
So Justin, there's still a couple things coming in regarding, questions about the raffles. If they needed to sell it in 3 different amounts. With 3 different.
Yeah. So guys, we have all of our, just in the essence of time, we have all of our area special events calls Thursday and Friday this week. So we're going to be addressing a lot of these things with you guys as well there, especially around auction and raffle, ticket sales and so forth. So Andrea, let's skip some of those for now and we'll address those individually on those area calls, just while we have Jordan to talk more on the technology side to answer any of those technology questions.
Yeah, so I think Justin, when you have your calls with the field staff, I think just, a little bit of confusion regarding the sale of the tickets and sponsorships, where that's being sold and where the auction's being managed. Let's see. Can we control when the email goes to the guests? Yes. I'm just trying to look to see. Do you have a recording of another charity doing the live auction? I was going to forego the live until I saw what the VEC could do today, so I'm very intrigued. Brandy. I don't know if we have a recording. Jordan, do we have any recording of the live portion yet to show?
I'm not sure if we recorded the mock event that we did last week with that, but we could certainly spin something up and give it to the group if people want to see it.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see what the silent auction would look like? Do you have a page where you can show what the silent auction looks like, Jordan?
Yeah, and I don't know what all is set up in the different orgs, so I'm just gonna use this PowerPoint for now.
Yeah.
But what you'll see is what I've got here on my screen. So it's a single column design down there below that program bar. These do page every 12 items, so you can have as many items as you want here. Your users won't have to scroll down endlessly. They will reach the bottom and then they can move between pages. You have your bid options here, as well as what the current winning bid is. You can show the value of the item if you'd like, or you can hide that. When someone does click on it, they'll have the opportunity to confirm the bid. They can also set a maximum bid so that if someone outbids them, they can automatically bid up to a certain point, as well as the option to get updates. When you are there, you can always view your auction items as well. And so this will show you things you're currently winning, as well as anything that you've bid on in the past, but you may not be winning anymore.
Okay, so let's see. Can you have the auction open to the public without letting them into the show?
No. But you can have the auction running well before the show itself. So just depending on the timing, if you want your auction to run for a month, that's certainly applicable. Or you can just run it during the event itself. That's up to you.
So on the heels of all that, they wanted to see how we upload the silent auction. If you just want to show just, you know, on the back end where you upload the item. You don't have to go through the process. Very simple, Carly.
So you'll have two screens on the back, one of which where you'll add items for the auction itself. So you'll get this screen where you can set your photos, the item value, how many of them you have. Once you've populated your items list, then you're able to build either live or silent auctions and associate those throughout the rest of the event itself. So you'll build in your items and then you'll distribute those to whichever type of auction you would like. And then those get assigned within the system to where you want to show them.
So I think I got to most of the questions, Justin. So I think, you know, Justin, maybe we just want to reiterate that really the exciting part of this virtual event center is this streaming capability, that where you can stream live, recorded, we can host a slideshow, and your participants can donate, bid, purchase raffles, all on one site. The donor recognition will be there. The chat feature will be there soon. So this is really exciting. I know it's different than legacy, but this is sort of just new and improved. Think of it, this is what, you know, the here and now, what people need, need to see and be able to participate in. I mean, this is going to be wonderful for your audience. They're going to feel together. They're going to feel part of the community. And they're all going to be on one site being able to chat with each other. And there is availability for you to customize the story. If you want to upload images to that slideshow that are more event centric. So we're happy to work with you. The consultants are going to work with you. You're not going to be alone. I know this is all new, but we're really excited to work on this with you. It's really exciting, and we really shifted pretty fast here, seeing that the fundraising world was changing. Justin?
Yeah, I'll just, since we have a little bit more time, I'll answer a few of these other questions that we said we would put off, but I will just, again, we will address these in greater detail on our area calls later this week, guys. But first of all, fund the mission, preloaded or pre-committed, pre-seeded gifts. Yes, you will be able to load those into the system. You will be able to acknowledge those donors in real time. There will be the opportunity to have their name scroll across the screen, to go towards your total and fund the mission as it's happening. So I think that kind of sums up or answers several fund the mission questions from people. I think there was another one I saw about text messages. Yes, Bree, text messages can still be scheduled, can still be sent. They can be sent in the moment or scheduled ahead of time. All of those features are still accessible. And still some confusion around tickets. The VEC does not have the capacity to sell tickets and sponsorship. That has to be done in your current legacy site. The VEC can only handle your live event if it's pre-recorded or live streamed, raffle, donations, fund the mission, silent auction, or live auction. It cannot process individual tickets, table sales, or sponsorship purchases.
Yet.
Yes. Yet, yeah, that's correct. But most likely not by the time all of you will use it. There's not a limit on number of people, Susan. Also, Susan, I think you asked earlier about just the quality, if it's degraded over time based off a number of people. No, that's not an issue. Any issues that anyone is likely to experience are really probably more from their individual provider of internet. Like if there's any glitches or anything in your own software and system providers, not necessarily from the host side of the VEC. I'm trying to think if there was any others that I skipped over. Yes, Tova, music, transitions, background, those things are all possible. They can be done individually in the show manager, or also if you're working with a production company, they can build that in. So that is just an easy transition on the back end as well. Can the live stream be paused by the attendee? Jordan, I'll have to leave that one to you.
Yeah, so all the content itself is handled by like the system that they're watching. And so if for some reason, let's say you're using pre-recorded content and YouTube allows a pause, that would be there. What we do try to ensure is that everyone stays at the same place. So if someone shows up mid-event and you have a pre-recorded segment, we will fast forward them to where everyone else is. So we can ensure that everyone starts in the same place and has a consistent experience. If you're using StreamYard or Twitch or any type of actual live stream service, there is no pause button there, so there would be no ability for your supporters to pause.
I keep seeing about auction and upload each silent auction one by one, or can we mass upload? Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe right now it is single item upload, correct?
Yes. So at the moment it is single item upload. Mass upload is on our list. Just not sure when that will be available at this time.
Yeah. I think that is it. Unless I skipped everything. Brandy's question, if not password protected, sorry, Brandy, any way to do a password protect for the actual night of users when we are ready to go live?
So right now we do not have any kind of password associated system, but I can tell you when we look at ticket sales in the system, we are looking at how to move the access away from an open registration and into, it's specifically only people that have purchased a virtual ticket or have a specific code. Carly asked if you can be updated when mass upload is available. That's another one where we would be able to provide an update, when that's going to be available in the future. Just we don't have a timeline at this moment.
Yeah, Carly, and I think Tova asked about that too. The likelihood of that being available for this fall is not likely. So it's just one of those things that we're just going to have to bite the bullet on and be responsible for uploading them individually, unfortunately. There are higher priority items like the chat feature, some Funimation features, and additional content that we have put on the priority list for Jordan and their team as they finish to build this out. Any last questions? And again, guys, I promise we're going to dive into this on each of our area calls later this week and really help you guys further understand and be able to explain it yourselves is the end goal. And if there are no other questions, I don't think any are popping in. I, for one, I know, I think my teammates are on the call, just want to say thank you to OneCause. They have been a tremendous partner in this. Like Jordan said, or Andrea said at the beginning, this site has been a build out over a matter of months. Without this partnership, we would be in a really, really difficult position. We looked at a lot of different opportunities and platforms to make the best case scenario for all of you and your events. And fortunately, we happened to have a great partnership with OneCause, and they were already headed towards building this out. So I thank them for their partnership and the creativity to build this out in such a short amount of time. That's why some of these features like chat and mass upload and auction and so forth haven't quite gotten done yet, because this has just been happening in a matter of months. So thank you guys just for your leadership and partnership. Our team is extremely excited about this product. We do believe that you all will learn to love it as well. I know there's some confusion and some headaches around a few things, but I promise once you get into it and you have a better understanding of just how everything works, we're confident that you guys will be able to work in this, and it'll be a great resource for your events this fall. And anything? Amy, no. Money raised on Legacy will not transfer to VEC. They will both be separate, and they will pull into your bank account separately. Money would not need to transfer over from one site to the other.
If you wanted to boost your thermometer, you could do that though. Like if you wanted to represent that money in your event raise total, you would have the option to do that.
Yes. So yeah, Jordan, great point. If you do want to represent money that was like for a thermometer, I think I did see that earlier as well. You could put that over as representative, but it wouldn't be double counted or wouldn't actually hit through your wire as coming into two separate deposits. Linda, yes, we can share questions and answers and things that come up on the separate area calls with everybody, so everyone has the same information. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Appreciate your time today. There's a lot more information coming. Indiana, calm down. Amanda and Brandy, and a lot of more info, guys. We look forward to talking to you on Thursday and Friday, depending on when your area call is. Again, thank you, OneCause. We will have this all to you very soon. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.